You ever feel like the tides are turning, but the roar hasn't quite hit the stands yet? Like something seismic just shifted beneath our feet, and Detroit's football future is suddenly dangling on the edge of a knife? They tried to tell us in the media that the Lions were still just a work in progress, that patience was the only path forward. But now, behind those locked doors and behind the smoke of preseason hype, the whispers are getting louder, the air thicker with possibility. Light up the comments if you're ready for the city to stop waiting and start believing. Because what I'm about to lay on you isn't just a rumor. It's a thunderclap that could rewrite the story of this franchise. Insiders are quietly spilling that Detroit has landed Trey Hendrickson. Yes, the edge-rushing terror who's made a name for himself by wrecking backfields and dominating QBs under pressure. This isn't some mid-tier filler move. This is desperation wrapped in brilliance. A direct assault on the problems that have haunted us all season. Our lackluster pass rush on the edge. The constant pressure felt by Aiden Hutchinson without. A real partner to light up the scoreboard. For a city that's been starved of postseason glory since the days before most of us were born, this move pulses with emotion. Because we don't just want to compete, we want to dominate. We've stared down heartbreak since '91. Walked through the shadows of bland coaching eras, felt every deflating season chip away at our hope. But the arrival of Hendrickson is a promise that the Lions front office is done settling. From the ashes of Caldwell's uninspired years through Quinn's roller coaster of almost, this is a declaration that Detroit aims higher. Imagine the thunderclap when Hendrickson steps on the Ford Field, breathing fiery determination alongside Hutchinson. Combining relentless hustle and seasoned savvy, would this be the edge that finally turns close games into stunning wins? But what if it's not just about adding one player? What if this is the key to unlocking a defense that finally lives up to the hype? A defense that buries opponents in the dirt and makes every down a fight for survival? What if this gamble sparks a firestorm that propels our Lions deeper into the playoffs than we dared imagine? Turning a team that was once dismissed into a roaring juggernaut? Or hard to say, what if this is Detroit's last shot before the golden window slams shut, before injuries and cap space squeeze our hopes dry once more? The emotional weight here is immense because it carries the hopes of a city battered by years of disappointment, but burning with a fierce pride that refuses to die. And if Hendrickson's arrival is just the first domino to fall, if this pulse of energy ignites a playoff run so electric, it shakes everyone to their core, you better believe the whole NFL will be watching and fearing the rebirth of a Lions team hungry for more than just respect. And now the fuse is lit. Every fan, every heartbeat, every whispered hope is waiting for that explosion. Because if this move hits, Detroit's not just coming back, we're coming for blood. Like the torches. Lions Nation, because what we're witnessing now isn't just a game changer. It's a rallying cry echoing through the bloodlines of Detroit's football legacy, resonating with the thunderous pulse of a city starving for respect, hungry enough to shake the very foundation of Ford Field itself. This isn't hype. It's history in the making, a seismic shift that's been years in the cracking. Years of brutal heartbreaks piled high like the walls we built around our hopes 0 to 16. Dan Orlovsky diving into the end zone with nothing but the clock and our dreams against him. Calvin Johnson finally throwing in the towel after decades of breaking Kabbalah records with no championship in sight. Barry Sanders silent after choosing to walk away rather than endure more of the same. Jim Caldwell's firing a symbolic annihilation. A fleeting optimism and last season's playoff push that got us all thinking. Maybe this time. Just maybe, until the cruel pain of heartbreak came crashing down like the old concrete of our only hope. But now, behind closed doors, behind the smoke of off-season whispers of a new attitude are rising secrets kept from the media. Insiders leaking that Detroit has locked in Trey Hendrickson, the relentless savior with a relentless motor. And the ferocity that could finally turn our shaky pass rush into a tidal wave of destruction. An unstoppable force that makes Aiden Hutchinson not just a star, but a harbinger of chaos for anyone daring to line up against our fortress. You can feel it in the locker room, the tension thick as steel, a mix of veteran grit and raw, unfiltered desperation, a front office that finally sees the potential buried beneath years of mediocrity. No more Band-Aids, no more settling for scraps. This is a calculated assault on mediocrity, a shift that signals Detroit is done taking second place, done being the bridesmaid to Chicago, Green Bay, Minnesota. This is our moment to reclaim what's ours. The history books remind us of missed opportunities, of how we've danced on the brink, but never crossed the threshold. Wild card collapses in the final minutes. Playoff hopes dulled by turnovers, inconsistencies that haunted us like ghosts. But with Hendrickson's arrival, I see a different future. One where the defense finally matches the thunder in our chest. Where Hutchinson and Hendrickson unleash a fury so relentless opponents fear to breathe. Where we finally turn those narrow losses into commanding victories. Yet somewhere deep down, I wonder, what if it's not enough? We've seen the front office make bold moves before fleshed-out attacks on mediocrity that ended in heartbreak. Quinn's false promises, special teams meltdowns, the infamous collapses. What if this is all just another chapter in Detroit's endless saga of hope, disappointment, and resilience? Our rivals are already trembling. Green Bay, with their Aaron Rodgers farewell tour, Chicago, desperate to claim the North, and Minnesota lurking like a predator ready to feast. Are we truly ready to shake them all off, or are we just another heartbeat away from the crushing realization that, no, some scars go too deep? And yet, with every bone-crushing sack, every clash of helmet against helmet echoing through Ford Field, I believe with every fiber in my soul that this is the turning point, the moment when history is rewritten, not just in the win column, but within our very spirit, our identity forged anew in fire and grit. Because make no mistake, Hendrickson isn't just a player. He's a symbol, a beacon blazing so brightly that it cuts through the darkness of our past failures. A promise that the days of fighting for crumbs are over, and what lies ahead is a war and all-out, no-holds-barred battle for respect, a battle for the soul of Detroit Lions football. But the question remains, can this be the spark that ignites a revolution? Or will our hopes be extinguished yet again by the crushing weight of history, by the same ghosts that have haunted us for decades? And if so, what then? Do we stand tall, battered yet unbowed, or do we succumb to the same old pattern before the first game even kicks off? Because the truth is, the stakes have never been higher, and as the roar grows louder, the question echoes into the void. Will this be the year Detroit finally rises from the ashes? Or are we destined to repeat the heartbreaks, wearing our scars with pride, but dreaming of a day when the victory cry is more than just a whisper in the wind? And on that day, will Hendrickson be the legend who made it all possible, or just another chapter in our endless saga of hope deferred? The night is dark, and the battlefield is set, waiting for a hero. But who will step into the light and claim their destiny? The storm is brewing, and Detroit's comeback is no longer just a possibility. It's a brewing reality, waiting for the final decisive moment to explode. And when it does, will everyone be ready for what's coming next?